Hello and welcome to Sukkah Daf Sukkah 29. Again, Shmuel deserted me. I have to get him back soon. Let's start from the top here. The third line. Amarava Mani Mishti Mitlasa, Mani Michli Bar Matlasa. If you drink cups that you use, you can keep after you drank with them. You can keep them in the sukkah. They don't appear disgusting. But if you have plates that you ate already on, they have little remnants of the food in them, you have to throw them out. They can't be in the sukkah. It's a bizarre into the sukkah. Chatzva v'shachil. If you have an earthenware kli that you use to gather water, or shachil, even a wooden kli, a small wooden kli that you use to pour water from, be a pitcher. Bam matalasa. These are not fitting. I guess you need glass or fancy kalim to be in the sukkah. Like we said before, kalim noim, you're supposed to bring kalim noim to the sukkah. Bar matalasa, shraga matalasa, and the candle, hadlakas neros for Yom Tov, you keep in the sukkah. Amrila bar matalasa. Some say you keep it outside the sukkah. Below pliki. Habas sukkah gdola, habas sukkah ktan. If it's a big sukkah, so there's a lot of air in the sukkah, it's not going to light the sukkah on fire. There's no danger of that. You keep the candles in the sukkah. Small sukkah, it might light this. It's only 7 by 7, or even a little bigger. A small sukkah might light the sukkah on fire. You have to take the candles outside the sukkah. Yardu geshamim. We said in the Mishnah, if rain falls, you're allowed to go in from the sukkah. Tana mishitzisra chamakfe. What's the shiur? The Mishnah says when your porridge becomes ruined. Mishitzisra chamakfe shall grisen, of grisen. So the article says grisen is split beans. I would say it's grits. We're talking about porridge, like we said before. Grits is a type of porridge, so sounds like grisen. That's what we'll say over here. You like the fish? Makfe shall grisen. You're eating grits. Not everyone eats grits. It's a cheap kind of food, but if it gets ruined, you can go inside. Abaya have a kiyas of kameder of Yosef Matalasa. He was standing in front of Yosef, his Rebbe, in the sukkah. Nashu zeka of a kamaisi sibusa. The wind blew, and splinters from the wood of the Succah fell, I guess, into his soup or onto his plate. Amalur of Yosef, Panuli Mani Mahacha. He said, take my kalim, take my things that I need out of the sukkah and bring them into the house. You have to wait till your porridge gets ruined, not some splinters blow in your face or into the soup. Since I'm a type of person, a very delicate person, I'm into luxuries, so a luxurious person can't tolerate things that don't go his way so much. So I'm also anine daite. It helps me that I could shower during the 9 days, because if I don't shower, I get very. I'm a luxurious person. I like to make sure that I'm showered, so I can shower during the 9 days. So Rav Yosef is also like that. So for him, it's like the porridge was ruined. He was eating in the sukkah and it started to rain. And he left the sukkah. We don't make him come back into the sukkah until he finishes his meal. Even though the rain stopped in the middle of his meal, he could finish his meal inside and come back out for his next meal when the next meal starts. Let's say it was night, he's sleeping in the sukkah, and started raining, and because it was raining, he's allowed to go inside. We don't make him come back until it gets light outside. What is it really? What's the real word here? Yeir is a word of light, or yeir means until he wakes up, even if it's the middle of the night. Tashma yeir v'yala marashachar. So we bring a brisa. It says until yeir, until it is light. It sounds like a light from the sky. Yeir pnei mizrach, the first rays of sun from the eastern sky. V'yala marashachar. Also Murashachar, which is afterwards when pretty much the whole sky gets light. So which one? So the Gemara says Tarti. They're conflicting things. One is saying an earlier time than the other. They're both talking about when the sky gets light, or how light the sky gets. You rather have to interpret the brisa Achi Yehu, or not Yehu with light. Yehu, if they wakes up, V'yalam Murashachar. And Rabbi Rashi learns that you need both. And in order to have to go back into the sukkah, you need to have woken up already, and you need that it was already Amud HaShachar. Once Amud HaShachar hits, so therefore, and you're up, so then you have to go back to the sukkah. But if it's Amud HaShachar and you haven't woken up, no one has to wake you up. Or if you woke up and it's not Amud HaShachar, you could stay inside the house. You don't have to go back into the sukkah. Mashal Ma'adavardo. The Mishnah says that if it rains on sukkahs, it's a mashal to a person who poured wine for his master, and the master threw something on his face. The Gemara says, water on his face. Who's pouring water on who? Is it that Hashem pours water on our face, or is that he poured wine for his master, and by accident he also spilled water on the master. It's like the master spilled water on his face. He made it rain. I don't like the way you're serving me. When there's a solar eclipse, doesn't happen that often. When there's a solar eclipse, it's a bad sign for the whole world. What's it comparable to? He made a feast for his servants. He put a lantern. He put fancy lighting in front of them. Now they were busy eating, so then he said, take the light away and let them eat in dark. And everyone knows it's not fun to eat in dark. The Gemara in Yuma says that people that are blind, they never get full because they can't see the food. Tanya Remeir Omer calls man shemoros lokin siman ralasonein shal Yisrael. Anytime that the luminaries of the sky, the sun, the stars, the moon, they get an eclipse, siman ralasonein shal Yisrael. It's a bad sign for Klal Yisrael. Because they're accustomed to getting punished. Everyone knows that Klal Yisrael gets punished, afflicted more than other nations. Always beaten up. It's like a school teacher who comes to the school and he has a whip in his hand. He used to whip the kids, I guess, hit them. Who worries? The person who gets normally who is beaten up normally gets hit, so he worries because he's worried he's going to get hit again. When there's a solar eclipse, it's a bad sign for goyim. Levana loka, if there's a lunar eclipse, siman ra l'sanei shal Yisrael, it's a bad sign for Klal Yisrael. Yisrael more than Levana. Yisrael goes by the moon. They count their year based on the new moon. The other chavim go. They have a solar year, which is 365 days. Loka b'mizrach siman ra liyoshei mizrach. If there's a solar eclipse in the east, the eastern part of the world, let's say China, similarly, it's a bad sign for the Asia, that continent. The Ma'arav, if it's in the western part of the world, in America, Hawaii, it's a bad sign for the people who live in the west of the world. The if there's an eclipse in the middle of the sky, it's a bad sign for the whole world. If the sun, when it's setting, looks like very red, like blood, it's a sign that war is going to come to the world. The sak, if it's darkened, it's a dark red, then arrows of hunger, meaning there's going to be a famine, comes to the Bain La'olam. The zul, if it's dark and it's very, very red like blood, then there's going to be war and hunger come to the world. If there's an eclipse when it's going in, when it's setting, when the sun is setting, then it's a sign that the punishments are going to come in a distant time. But see also, if there's an eclipse right when it comes out, the sun from the sky in the morning, it's a sign that the punishments are going to come quickly. Some say it's exactly the opposite. Every nation that gets punished, its gods get punished with it. When Hashem punished Mitzrayim, also He punished their gods. When Klal Yisrael does the Ratzon of Hashem, they don't have to fear any of these things. Don't learn from the goyim. Don't be afraid from the signs that happen in the sky. Because the goyim should be afraid of them. The chavim should be afraid. And Yisrael shouldn't be afraid when they're doing Ratzon Hashem. On account of four things, there's a solar eclipse. Alav basin shemes. The head of a basin that dies. He's not properly eulogized. Also, an engaged girl who gets raped in the city and no one comes to save her. Mishka, she screams, no one comes to save her. Mishkav Zachar, and people who are engaged in Mishkav Zachar, homosexuality. And two brothers that got killed at the same time. Four things, other luminaries get stricken. There's an eclipse, a lunar eclipse of the stars. You don't see the stars. Al kosve plaster. People who make up forged documents. People give over false testimony. People grow cattle, small cattle in Eretz Yisrael that grazes and which ruins the grass in Eretz Yisrael and ruins Eretz Yisrael. People will cut down trees, fruit-bearing trees that could produce fruit. Now that it's an issue in the Torah to cut that down. On account of four things, the possessions of, I guess, rich people are given over to the king. The government collects from them. They hold on to loan documents that were already paid up, and they want to try to collect with them again. Or you lend money with ribis, which is this in the Torah. They could have. They're the leaders. They're the activists. The Askanim in Klal Yisrael. They have all the money. They could have made a protest against wrongful behavior, and they didn't do that. These rich people, they go to shul, and they have a bid, on Simchas Torah for all the aliyahs, for Kol Na'arim and Chas Torah, Chas Nebrachos, and they don't give money. They pledge money, and they don't give it. Amar Rav says, kind of the four things, people who own a lot of property, their property gets ruined, it gets wasted by, let's say, rain or fire. They don't pay their workers. They hold it back, meaning they delay paying it. Or they completely deny it and they steal from their workers. Or they have responsibility to do things in the community and they put it on someone else. They don't take the responsibility themselves. Or these rich people become arrogant. Gas zaruach. Gas zaruach equals the other three. But if you're humble, if you're a humble person, you'll inherit the land and you'll delight on a lot of peace. That will conclude Hadran Allah Perek HaYashan. And tomorrow, Mirza Hashem will start Lulav HaGazal.